Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to explain little bit introduction about the analysis of frames. So you all know about what is a frame. So frame is nothing but joining of all the members in systematic manner is known as a frame. So there are mainly two types of frames. One is sway frame and the another one is non-sway frame. So first we will see about the sway frame. So for example, if I am having a frame in this manner, so if I am having the frame in this manner, so you can observe that the length of the column is not equal. This is having more length and this is having what short in length. Now what I will do is that I will apply some external load. Let the load be W. Then due to this external load, that the frame tends to deflect in this direction. So initially the column is in vertical position. Now it tends to deflect in right side, right side direction. So there is some deflection at this joint and this joint. Okay, now let the deflection be delta and this is also delta. So by this what I mean is that the deflection at this joint is equal to the deflection at this joint. So since there is deflection in these columns, this frame is known as sway frame. Sway is nothing but deflection. So there is deflection in these two columns. It is known as sway frame. For the sway frames, the deflection in columns is not equal to 0. So why I am saying deflection in columns is that here the deflection is occurring only in the column, not in the beam. So this is one column, this is one column, this is a beam. So the deflection, the column initially in vertical position, deflecting in by an amount delta. Similarly, this column is also deflecting by an amount of delta. Now the deflection is only in the column but not in the beam. The beam is just initially in this position, now shifting. It is there is only shifting but no deflection. So deflection in beam is 0. The next one is non-sway frame. Now what I will do is that I will take the same frame, I will draw the same frame like this. Now I will apply one external load W. Suppose if I provide one roller support here, now there won't be any deflection in the frame. From this roller support there will be one reaction. So due to this load and this reaction there will be no deflection. So hence it is known as non-sway frame. And this is sway frame. So non-sway frame doesn't mean that always providing of roller support. The identification of sway frame and non-sway frame is based on the length of the column, flexural rigidity. So you know flexural rigidity is product of Young's modulus and moment of inertia. And the next one is due to the external loads. This is the main factors. Based on these three conditions, we have to decide whether it is a sway frame or non-sway frame. If it is a non-sway frame, the analysis is somewhat different, and if it is a sway frame, the analysis is both are almost same, but there will be small minor variation in the procedure. Okay, so these are the main factors affecting the identification of sway frame and non-sway frame. So I will clearly explain while solving the problems. So how to identify the sway frame and non-sway frame. So now coming to the methods of analysis, there are mainly three methods: slope deflection method, moment distribution method, and Canis method. So slope deflection method, we will use slopes and deflections, as I have said here, deflection and slopes in this method to form the slope deflection equations. And the moment distribution method is based on the distribution of moments to all the members, and the distribution will be based on their stiffness and distribution factors. And the last one is the Canis method. So these are the three methods in which we will analyze the frames. So in the frames you are having mainly three types of supports. One is the hinged support, another is the roller support, and the next one is the fixed support. So these are the mainly there are three supports. For example, I am taking a frame in this manner. Now if I am having a hinged support here and a fixed support here, so I have considered a frame having hinged support and fixed support. Now the moment at the hinged support is always equal to 0 because hinged supports won't offer any moment, but the moment at the fixed support is not equal to 0. Moment is at fixed support is not equal to 0, there will be some value, and the moment at the hinged support will always be equal to 0. There is no need to calculate separately. We can keep directly moment equal to 0 at whatever may be the joint, let it be A. So moment at A will be equal to 0. No need to calculate separately. Similarly, if you are having hinge roller support, there also moment is equal to 0. For these two supports, moment is equal to 0, and the fixed support it is not equal to 0. And if we are coming for the slopes, if you are having for example I am taking this frame. So if in this frame we are having fixed support. For the fixed support support A, I am let the slope at A be theta A. It is equal to 0. At fixed supports, slopes will be equal to 0. At hinged supports, slopes were not equal to 0, and at the roller supports also not equal to 0. So the main thing is that at fixed support, moment is not equal to 0 but slope equal to 0. For the remaining supports, moment is equal to 0 and slope is not equal to 0. So this you have to remember while solving the problems. So now I am going to explain the procedure in slope deflection method. So while we are analyzing any frame, the first thing we have to do is that we have to identify whether it is a sway frame or non-sway frame. So after identification, I will so after the identification of type of frame, then we have to go for the procedure. So the first step is to calculate the fixed end moments. So I am writing FEM, that means fixed end moments. So the fixed end moments are calculated based on the given external load conditions. The fixed end moments may be due to the external loads. It may be due to the external loads or due to the rotation and sinking of supports. Rotation of supports or due to the sinking of supports. So in this particular step, the first assumption is that all joints are assumed to be fixed. So the assumption is that all joints are assumed to be fixed. For example, if I am having a frame like this, now I should assume all the joints. So this is one joint and this is one joint. Now I have to assume that it is a fixed support and this is also a fixed support, so that each member will be like a fixed beam. So based on the loading condition, we can calculate the fixed end moments. So I will show you the formulas for calculating the fixed end moments. So as you can see here, so to calculate the fixed end moments, these are the formulas. So if there is a fixed beam having central point load at a distance L by 2 and L by 2, then MFAB, the fixed end moment produced at A is equal to WL by 8, and fixed end moment produced at B equal to WL by 8. So whether it may be positive or negative, that we will see on the while solving the problems. These are just the formulas. So if there is a fixed beam having point load not at the center but at different distances, so from left support it is at a distance A, and from the right support it is at a distance B, it is not at the center, then we have to use these formulas for calculation of moment at this support and this support. Now it is WAB square by L square, WA square B by L square, and if a fixed beam having UDL over entire span, then these are the formulas: WL square by 12, WL square by 12. If the fixed beam is containing two point loads which are equidistant from each other, that means L by 3, L by 3 and L by 3, then these are the formulas we should use. So mainly we have to work with first three formulas. So these are not much important. This formula is applicable only when the load is equal and which are equidistant from each other, then only this formula is applicable. So if you are as I have said previously that the fixed end moment may be due to the external loads and rotation of supports or sinking of supports. So these are the formulas we should use due to the external loads. So if you are having any sinking of support, then this is the formula we should use at that member, at that joint. If you are having any rotation, then we should use 4 ei theta by L and 2 ei theta by L at that support. So the theta is the slope at the respective joint. So at which joint we are having the rotation, so at that joint we have to substitute the theta value. So if there is any sinking of support, then use this formula. If there is rotation of support, then use this formula. So by using these formulas, we have completed the first step. Now the second step is to form the slope deflection equations. So as you can see here, I have written two equations for slope deflection. So MAB equal to MFAB plus 2 EI by L into 2 theta A plus theta B minus 3 delta by L. So MAB is the final moment of member AB, which we have to find out at last, and MFAB is the fixed end moment from in the member AB, which is obtained from the step 1. 2 EI, E and I value are obtained from the given diagram, and length is also obtained from the given diagram. So length, we have to substitute the length of member AB. Now 2 theta A plus theta B. Theta A means slope at support A, and B means slope at joint B, and it is minus 3 delta by L. In the similar manner, we have to write the slope deflection equations for all the members given in the truss, that is for BC, CB, CD, DC, and whatever the may be the members, we have to write the deflection equation, slope deflection equations for all the members, substitute the values, and we have to form the slope deflection equations. So here the MFAB means fixed end moment in member AB, which is obtained from the step 1. So the writing of slope deflection equation is very easy. So here the member, whatever may be the member here we are writing, the same member will be here. So fixed end moment in member AB plus 2 EI by L, this is constant, and so in AB the first letter is A, so the constant 2 will be multiplied with theta A, and the remaining will be theta B. So minus 3 delta by L, this is also same in the all the equations. So next equation is MBA. So whatever the member here we are writing, the same member is written here, that is MBA equal to MFBA plus 2 EI by L, it is constant, and the first letter is B, so the 2 is multiplied with theta B, and the next one is A, so theta A minus 3 delta by L. Delta is the deflection in the member BA, and L is the length of member BA. So similarly we have to write the same equation for all the members in the given truss and form the equations. For each member we will get two equations. The third step is joint equilibrium conditions. So we have to ensure that every joint is in equilibrium. Suppose for example there is a truss, for example there is a frame. So I am having a frame in this manner. So let the support at A is fixed support, and this is B joint, joint C, and support D. At A and D we are having fixed supports. So slopes at A theta A and slope at D theta D equal to 0. Now what is meant by joint equilibrium conditions? In this frame B and C are joints, A and D are supports. So we have to I am speaking about joint B and joint C. So at joint B, the moment in member BA plus moment in member BC equal to 0. So that means I will write here, at joint B, moment in member BA plus moment in member BC equal to 0. So if this condition, so we have to use this condition and we have to find out the unknowns. So this is the member BA and this is the member BC. Both are, so the moment here, the moment obtained here will be equal and opposite in magnitude. So one value will be in the positive and the another value will be in the negative. Okay, so one value is positive, one value will be negative. The magnitude will be same. So if we add these two values, it should be finally equal to 0. Then only the equilibrium is then only the condition is satisfied. Similarly at joint C, we are having member CD and CB. So we can write that mcb plus mcd equal to 0. So this is another equilibrium condition, mcb plus mcd equal to 0. Both are equal and opposite in magnitude. So by using these two equations we have to find out the unknown values. Okay, so that is the third step. The next step is the calculation of final moments. So in the third step we will get some equilibrium equations. So on solving those equilibrium equations we will get some unknown values. So we will place those unknown values in the step 2 equations and we will calculate the final moments MAB, MBA, MBC and so on. So whatever may be the members. So the next step will be drawing of bending moment diagram. So after obtaining the moment values based on those moments, we will draw the bending moment diagram for the given frame. So these are the 5 steps involved in the slope deflection method. I will explain each and every step clearly while solving the problems.